Good morning, everyone. It's October 19th, 2019, and I'm Eric. I'm going to talk to you in this video about the term authoritative sources. And because we have been hearing this term more and more. You hear it on the news, and any information that comes from anywhere else is considered a conspiracy theory, even when it has nothing to do with crime or crimes committed by other people and organizations. I'm going to give you an example here. Take how they model the way planets, the sun, stars, moons, whatnot, bend space-time. I'm going to give you an example. I have a picture pulled up here. And I'm not a scientist. I do dabble. I read a lot of different stuff, so I know quite a bit. And one thing that I've always wondered about is this. Alright, so you see that supposedly the force of gravity bends space-time, like that, and just like it shows on the picture here. And you see down here the Earth, it too has bends the space-time around it because of the gravity, they say. Now, I'm not denying that there's not gravity, or that there is gravity, rather, but there's something very incomplete about this notion here. And that is, if this bends right here, and this bends, wouldn't it be logical for this to bend too? But instead of mentioning this in any of the presentations I've ever heard, they have this, they give you the impression, rather, that the bending is only on one, on the top or the bottom, which in this case, from our point of view, it's the bottom. But the fact of the matter is, it would have to bend the space around it. It would have to bend it in a sphere. And they present to us this idea that space-time can be seen as this right here. And it just can't be, because it's missing the other three sides. If this side has bends space-time, this should bend it, this should bend it, and this should bend it. Although it should be stronger on the north and south poles, the bending. But they present to you and everyone else that the bending only occurs on the southern side, or the bottom. And that's what you get when you listen to authoritative sources and you don't think for yourself. Now, I'll give you another example. And many of these authorities, so-called authorities, are beginning to jump off this bandwagon. So recently, we've heard of this climate summit where the student, or protest, whatever you want to call it, where students around the world walked out of class to protest climate change. I'm going to pause it for a moment and bring up a new picture, and we're going to talk about these authoritative sources as well. Alright, so I decided to use this girl's picture since she is the poster child for climate change currently. So, the authoritative sources have, for many years now, called what is normal change in our climate anthropogenic climate change. And as I said just a little bit ago, even a lot of the so-called authoritative sources on this anthropogenic climate change are jumping ship. There are many ancient writings that discuss climate change and how it came about fairly swiftly and how it caused many disasters. And in a later video, I will be going over this ancient writing. That way you know what to expect from what is currently going on with our own climate. But it has very little to do with us. That being said, I am completely against pollution. I don't think Monsanto should be out there having the ability to pollute our environment with their biochemicals or their bioweapons, if you will. I don't think, DuPont and the rest of them should be able to leach chemicals into our water tables. That's pretty bad. I don't think the common person should be going around throwing their fucking bags full of trash from their car onto the side of the road. And that's just wrong. You live in this environment. Why the fuck would you want to be riding around seeing trash and other things everywhere? Unless you have a mental deficiency. Only the stupid would find trash and chemicals spilled, nuclear waste, you name it, find these things acceptable. So, back to these authoritative sources. The UN is beginning to call climate protesters or activists borderlining on being a religion. And it was never supposed to, according to them anyway, it's not supposed to be about religion. It's supposed to be about our living environment. Fact of the matter is, in the 1970s, they said the world would be a ball of ice by now. Then suddenly, in the 1990s, they began to push this idea of global warming. It's fair enough. Some of the places have been hotter. Some of the places have been colder. Some of the places are getting snow when they shouldn't get snow. Fair enough. But our overall impact on the climate is minuscule compared to the natural cycles of climate. And all of these scientists should be out there admitting this fact. And they're not. You can decide how to trust somebody not only by what they say, but what they don't say. Anyway, I thought I would talk to you all about these authoritative sources, and there's so many more, the people on the news calling individuals like myself conspiracy theorists when there's quite a few documents and legislation written to back up what we are saying. this is why you can't trust them. You can't trust any of these authoritative sources simply because they are bought and paid for. Pure and simple. Anyway, hope you all have a good Saturday, and until next time, kill the state, live free.